2022 AFL Premiership season.
Yes, the Hawks doing it on the bit in the end, finishing with a 10-goal blast in the final quarter, 25-20, 170. The Tigers on the learning curve, 13-8, 86, so a margin of 84 points favouring Hawthorn. Their main contributor once again was Jason Dunstall. He bagged 12 goals today to take his season's tally to 133. Fine performance by Dunstall. And the Hawks keep their finals hopes alive. They have big wins, but the big question is, are they going to make it into the final six? Time only will tell. We'll take a break and then be back to check on the Geelong Bears clash. Tomorrow, they make up the six as it stands at the moment. Hawthorn, despite their big wins, are still outside the six. Their percentage, however, has grown, and who knows, it may come down to around 24 that decides who makes it and who does not. Essendon in 8th position, and then comes Adelaide, who are in action tomorrow. Fitzroy, Melbourne, North, Richmond, Sydney, and the Brisbane Bears down the bottom. I mentioned tomorrow, and here are those three games. We have Sydney and Melbourne. We have North Melbourne playing Collingwood, and at special time, note that at Football Park in South Australia, the Adelaide Crows play St Kilda. That is a very, very important game for the Saints. As we look ahead to next week, and some big games here too. Traditional rivals, Carlton and Collingwood, play. That is on Saturday.
And I think one emergency umpire is 500 metres away. It takes him 10 minutes to take his jacket off and get there. Isn't good enough to control that part of the game. I don't know what the answer is. I'm more worried about the coaching part of it, but they really do. I mean, I worked with them for 2 years, and it's the toughest job in footy. The rules don't help too much, and the solutions aren't as easy as people think they are.
Dave, imagine what would have happened if yesterday Geelong had lost that match and the headlines would have been tactics work or the wrestling won. Now imagine that. Don't you think it would become perhaps used in the grand final or in the finals?
We're condoning it for the finals already. You're letting them go now. You imagine what the grand final's going to be like.
Well, we saw a grand final.
So what do you do about it?
We saw a grand final with Geelong and Hawthorn not long ago, where things got
that's what I'm
close to the
suggesting,
limit.
Bob.
And I was Bruce. I was hoo-ha'd a couple of weeks ago for daring to suggest that it is illegal to charge a guy and knock him over off the ball. And certain coaches are up in arms and say, you want the game to be a girls' game and that sort of thing. Well, I personally disagree with you a little bit, David. I think that the umpiring standard at the moment is the worst I can remember in a long, long time. They've got half a ground each to work in. And if you had seen the game on Friday night, and I think it's making a lot of the players frustrated, and some of the decisions that you're seeing at the moment just dead set wrong. I saw a number yesterday at the Hawthorn-Richmond game that were, and I think players become very frustrated. And
I'd just like to ask...
Well, we thought, and I think probably Footscray thought, that our umpires did pretty well.
I thought they did all right
yesterday. We had
yesterday.
Carey and Russo yesterday, and I can't remember too many decisions which even moved me forward in the seat.
It was a difficult game to
Friday
umpire
night
too, wasn't it, David?
It wasn't easy to umpire because it was one-on-one all over the ground, very swirly conditions, a lot of ground play, an enormous amount of... We probably put 80 or 90 tackles on each.
And a lot of spite in the game.
Yeah.
Have you played in a more spiteful game this season than that one?
No, I can't remember a more spiteful
So after
game.
half-time, mainly, wasn't it?
No,
In the
before
third
half
quarter.
time.
There was a lot hanging on the game for both sides, and that's got to happen. And we've got difficulties. Even the start of the game, the 2:08 start, where you stand around pushing and shoving for 5 minutes until the tally gets rid of its commitments, is a problem to us too.
David, what about...
Why go out onto the ground?
Well, because you've got to be in position to start. The umpire stands there. We're in position to start. We don't know when it's going to start when he sees the red light or whatever it is to bounce the ball.
I'm trying to get umpires not to go into their area until
then we've got to all know, haven't we? Even the players have all got to know. They're not aware of that.
David, the
and that's I'm not curious, but that is a real problem to us, particularly in big games. It is a problem. There's always a scuffle that occurs when players are uptight, wanting to go and get at the ball, and they can't because they're not allowed to start. So they get into each other.
But David, the clubs are notified during the week as to what time the game will start, whether it's 2 o'clock or 2:08.
Yeah.
The match aid, the direct televised.
But they're going to be a bit, you played it. And
But,
you know, they've got to be in position before. They've got to be on the line for when the person starts. They can't just walk off and have a yarn to each other.
But I can't see why that's any different from the 2 o'clock to the 2:08.
Oh, no, I'm not saying, but whether it's commitments or not, it's the start of the game when it starts. It's a difficult time. And in those television games that do start there's a tendency to get into position early for it.
well, that's firstly saying the players haven't got any self-discipline virtually.
It's not a case of self-discipline.
Come on,
you never got hit up for a game anyway, so you wouldn't know.
These blokes are grown men going out to play a sport, Scotty. It's a dead set
Yeah, but it's a
sport.
very emotional game, Peter. So
Peter,
at times,
just one point. Don's about to give some votes. David, Greg Williams copped a lot of criticism during the week in the paper, and Terry Wheeler was very, well, not so much vocal, maybe he was misrepresented in the paper. Did you use either of those instances to stir the players yesterday?
Oh, in the first instance, I don't think anybody takes seriously the comments made in the paper. I mean, his name's Cracker, so I guess nobody really takes them too seriously. I don't think Greg would, and Greg's a professional in that he'd turn up and play.
But he had to answer those questions in a press conference Friday, didn't he?
Well, I didn't even know that, but if you did, yeah, that's not easy for the guy concerned. But, you know, when you get out there, it's so darn difficult to play the game now. I've got no doubt that players aren't thinking anything else but what's the heat and what's happening right now. So those things have absolutely no influence over the performance, in my opinion.
Terry Wheeler?
Well, I didn't read or hear those either, to be quite truthful, so I was only worrying about us. And Terry's got, I mean, he's made comments before that I have read, and I think for him in his circumstance where he's trying to build a belief and a confidence and a morale in that team to come out of the background maybe he believes they're coming out of. He's been a very successful coach at Williamstown before, doing exactly the same things. He's a real optimist, and I don't think the tactic's wrong at all. And I still think that they perform better against us than any other side that we played this year.
Yes, I wasn't critical. I think he's refreshing, Wheeler. Don, your votes?
Yes, well, I thought it was a terrific game yesterday, and I gave 3 votes to Millum Hannah on the back flank, the half-back flank. If he doesn't win Carlton's best and fairest in the games that I've seen, there's something wrong. Peter Dean, I thought, was fantastic yesterday. His 3 smothers, he did 2 on the back line, and then he followed up did one on the forward line, terrific, and Kernahan capitalised the work off down the ground. But you've also got to give apologies to Christo. I was impressed with this fellow. He's a Stephen Silvani look-alike. He's playing his 3rd game on a half-back flank, and the poise, maturity, the concentration that fellow's got, terrific. Fraser Brown, probably the best, most improved player in the league, I think, in the games that I've watched. Williams did well. Madden nullified Wind in the centre bounces, and that really did put a nail in Footscray's coffers because Liberatore Atkins just didn't get into it. Elvin blanketed Atkins all day, gave him, I think, 10 possessions, and Welsh early in the game. Footscray, very hard to find good players, Ron.
Bradley, he came off halfway through the last quarter because he was tagged all day or injured? Or?
No, he had an injury, Ron, that at one stage we thought he wouldn't play. He did come up, and in the finish it was protection for that injury, so we did take him off for that reason. You might remember that Baxter's been their most prolific ball getter and goal kicker, and we were hoping that we could use Bradley to prevent Baxter. I don't think Baxter had a kick in the first half, which is a very good sign of Bradley's work the other way round that people don't recognise quite so readily.
David, many Carlton supporters wanting to get rid of John Dorotich 12 months ago. It's been a huge turnaround. What's been the resurgence in his form?
I think it happened last year, Pete, towards the finish. He played the last half dozen games at centre-half back. We put him in there and left him there, hoping that he might be able to do the job. And I think the confidence he got out of some enormous ones, particularly the last one, the Richmond game, he played an outstanding game in that one. I think that carried over. Terrific pre-season, and has been as a consistent player as any other player we've had at Carlton this year, and both ends too, which has been great for him.
David, have you tried to get a lot of pace into that side? You seem to have it with Fraser Brown, Diulio,
well, it's been
Christo.
Our problem, really, Bernie. Our speed over the ground has been the one facet that catches us out often, and we've added on every line, if we can, one bloke that's got genuine speed who can run the lines, tuck it under his arm, have a bounce and deliver it long, and I think that's pretty essential to the team that's going to have some success in the future. We're still not as quick as we would like to be, but at the moment we've got all the speed in that we can find.
That would automatically make it very hard for Meldrum to come from the 2s to the 1s, wouldn't it?
Well, it might have on his form and his injury. Really carried a difficult hamstring thing and back thing for the whole year, but his form in the reserves over the last 2 weeks has been really encouraging. He's a very good player for us yesterday, and he's back in contention, I think, in our minds again now.
David, when you recruited Spalding, did you have a specific task for him? And has it changed through the year?
No, not really, because I was hoping that we could put him where he's played. I've been a great believer in the McClure, Martello type players who really work, strong athletes who work hard, who hold the ball in. Earl doesn't take all that many marks, but he certainly doesn't get marked against too often. He's a huge bloke. He's taller than Kernahan. His groundwork's great, his body work great, and he's just been terrific in terms of the personalities added to the place, his work around the ground, his versatility. He's gone to half back and played well. we're a bit lucky there, I think, that Earl ended up at Carlton, because he's been a real key to our improvement.
He wouldn't be working too hard off the ground, though, would he?
He's an extremely good trainer.
Is he really? He's
extremely good trainer.
Listen, what about guys in the seconds putting pressure on those guys in the seniors? Who's coming up there?
We've just about played most on. I don't think there are all that many more to come. Koutafidis was very unfortunate to go out and played exceptionally well again in the seconds yesterday. He's got some real athleticism, some speed and some size. Young Benny Robinson, who's done well already, is overcoming a groin, a hernia, and he trained on Thursday night, so he should be back soon. So we've really given most, I think, a go. Simon Verbeek's back in good form too, and he's another one with some versatility which would help us.
Well, David, it wasn't long ago that Fitzroy beat you and then Richmond beat you at Waverley, and you must have thought that the finals were out of the question, but suddenly you're in there, and the best thing for you is that you hold your own destiny in your own hands. You only have to keep winning and you'll make it.
That has been the, I think, the plus. When you get to the stage of having to rely on other people, then you lose a bit of confidence, I think, in approach. And at the moment, there's a pretty good vision around the place that we just got to keep doing the job. And each week we play on the knife edge, and we've seemed to be best in that circumstances. So we hope Collingwood wins again on this afternoon, and that'll keep the approach.
You want Collingwood to win this afternoon? You've got to be joking.
No, that's not the real truth. But if they do win, I think that's kept an edge in our approach that you may lose if they think there's a bit of a buffer of a game. So I'm not unhappy about us going on the way we're going.
I'm sure you'll be watching the Saints and Collingwood with a lot of interest today. Good luck. You've almost got to the end of that tightrope, and good luck if you make the finals.
Many thanks.
David Parkin, they've won 6 in a row, the Blues. They've been the surprise packet of the second half of this season. A break, back with more after this.
A new man in town.
She's got someone with her.
Raising eyebrows.
Is there a problem?
Raising temperatures.
Sex appeal and a brain as well.
And a relationship spiralling down.
Butt out!
To a dramatic crash.
I can stop whenever I want.
The heat's on.
Billy!
And there will be repercussions when IXL presents a country practice Monday.
Stephen Cummings' long-awaited new album, Unguided Tour, is out now.
It's true, it's for real, it's a fact of life. You don't get to be number one overnight. Lesson one is learning, getting there is half the fun. You gotta be committed to the long run and get to the heart of it, be a real part of it. Build that factory, prove you're here to be a long run player, a real stayer. Each and every move you make is one for the long run. Toyota is here for the long run, not just passing through. Toyota is here for the long run, and it's thanks to you. You made us what we are, Australia's favourite by far. Oh, what a feeling, Toyota, here for the long run.
It took 2,000 years, but a revolutionary discovery is changing the way men think about colouring their grey hair. It's called Just for Men, from the leader in men's hair colouring. Simply apply Just for Men, and in 5 minutes, shampoo out. Your grey is blended away, leaving natural-looking colour. 5 minutes. Here. Look at me. Just for Men leaves your hair looking healthy and fuller, and it won't fade or wash out. At your local pharmacy.
The live clash between Adelaide and St Kilda kicks off 5:30 today. Adelaide, strong at home, had the chance to shake up the ladder against St Kilda. The winner live from 5:30 today.
Well, Peter McKenna was at the MCG yesterday. Hawthorn won their 3rd consecutive match. They've still got a chance of playing in the finals. Impressed?
Well, I thought they had a slow patch in the middle of the game, Bruce, but they certainly had the game under control. And really, they could have been 10 goals in front at half-time if Jason Dunstall had have kicked straight. But Look, they've hit top form really towards the end of the season, but unfortunately for them, they've got to rely on other sides above them losing. But I'll tell you what, there's a couple of sides that will be hoping, Geelong and Collingwood will be hoping they don't make it, that's for sure. The votes, Chris Langford, since he's been captain, has really come back to tip-top form. He's playing great football at full-back. Andy Collins, a tough little back pocket player, magnificent game yesterday to mop up everything the other guys missed. And, well, Jason Dunstall, he is a credit to any young kid that ever goes to watch league football. There is a man that attacks the ball, and I've never, ever seen him involved in any altercation whatsoever, and a credit to the game, Dunstall. There's Platten. Now, Platten was hardly sighted yesterday, well taken out of the game by Ian Herman, a terrific stopper's job. And, you know, that's why Hawthorn did so well. But when you consider that Paul Hudson was down, he was held by Tony Free. Johnny Platten gave them hardly any drive whatsoever. But then again, you had the other guys, Jenky and Mew across half-back line. Condon, probably first half, nearly best man on the ground. And there's Dunstall taking one of his numerous marks.
Did they leave Turner on Dunstall all day at full-back, Peter?
No, Turner didn't play. Turner played on the half-forward line. Alistair Scott, Alistair Scott lined up at full-back. And Alan Jeans had obviously made up his mind to, well, we'll give the kid a go. We haven't got anyone else who's good enough to play on him and just leave him there all day. And he tried his heart out. But when Hawthorn come clear with the ball, there's no better side in the competition as far as delivery of the ball.
Now, Peter, did they try a extra load the defence, like a 7 or 8 man defence?
No, there was tons of room around the centre forward area towards full forward where Dunstall was giving those lightning leads, and we already mentioned about the kicking ability. Jarman a couple of times hit him on the chest with low passes, but no. I know Kevin Sheedy does it again with Lockett and Dunstall and drops the extra man back, but Alan Jeans didn't do that yesterday.
Where would you play Tony Hall? He seems to be making a real fist of the centre at the moment, doesn't he?
Well, he's one of my favourite footballers in the competition. He's hard at the ball, he is scrupulously fair, he takes the big mark, and I'd leave him in the centre forever. He is a top-class player, Tony Hall.
Any pluses for Richmond, Peter?
Well, Richmond, Matthew Knights did fairly well. Maxfield kicked 5 good goals. A young kid, Wayne Campbell's going to be very good. But Richmond will be improved when they can get some big man strength back in. At the moment, O'Dwyer's out, Jackson's out suspended. Brendan Gale, he's out also. And Craig Lambert was knocked out early in the game and had to leave the field. They have got some talent, but they need those big blokes back in to help those little mosquito.
Well, what do you think of Esler? Talking about big men, is he going to take a long while?
Well, he's one of the dinosaurs of football. He's a big, tall, slow-moving ruckman who's really Justin Madden type. Plenty of tap-outs, but won't get the ball much around the ground, Ron.
Peter McKenna's assessment of the match at the MCG. Bob Davis did go to Cardinia Park, as we gathered a little earlier in the program. It's good that you remained with us, Bob. I'm pleased about that.
Good on you, Bruce. Lovely to see you back, Bruce.
Your votes, Bob?
I gave votes to Stoneham, who is playing extremely well at the moment. McNeish, in his second game, kicked 5 goals, 1 and hit the post. He played purely and simply as a forward pocket fellow and did very well there. And Handley, I thought, played well around the ground for them. But it was obvious right from the start that, unfortunately, and this could have a detrimental effect on a lot of teams, because when a team really doesn't have any skill and they go out simply to harass probably and could easily upset a finals team by getting good players reported, that is a bit of a worry. And that's why it needs to be stopped straight away, because if you had an unscrupulous other team who said to the Brisbane Bears, go and, attack 3 or 4 in one of the other teams playing in the finals.
Well, it's good to see.
You don't know.
Good to see Bobby take notice of what was said before at the start of the show.
So, Bob, there were unfair tactics in your opinion.
Well, it must embarrass some of the younger players in the team to see their teammates doing things that are obviously not part of the football game.
Did this start before the first bounce, Bob?
Yes, and one fellow, especially number 1, he should change his name by deed poll for a start.
What's his name?
Champion. It's unbelievable. And I suppose we want to be a bit humorous about it, Bruce. I see in the paper through the week that there were 31 Brisbane Bears unemployed. After yesterday, there were 20 also went on the dole again. It's unbelievable, it is.
Just on Geelong for a moment, Bob. Malcolm makes a lot of changes week by week. Is that going to be one of the problems the Cats, they seem to have so much depth and so much talent that sometimes harnessing that depth and talent can be a problem. You know what I'm getting at?
I'd like to think that they settle it down in the next 2 weeks, Bruce.
They'll have to, won't they?
Yes. He's obviously attempting to get the tags away from his players early in the game, and you can understand that. But the 2 players that keep playing very consistently for him all the time are the fellas that don't get shifted.
Who are?
Hinkley, for one, although he went into the centre for a little while yesterday, but he's not really he's a fellow that plays up near the centre anyway. Stoneham, although he has to go centre, and McGrath is being turned into a good backman, but their team really is playing quite well. I mean, they kicked 9 goals, 3-1.
Brownless any better yesterday?
No, Billy, I think, was taken from the ground a couple of times. Brownless has lost touch altogether, and I think it may be because of continual moving from positions.
But just on the 2 guys you mentioned, they do move into other positions quite a lot. I mean, Stoneham plays, well, Stoneham, for instance, he goes centre-half forward, centre-half back,
only when the danger is there, Ron, only when the danger is there. Yesterday, when they were... And really, yesterday, there was no danger to them, so they've been able to leave him. I don't think that you can put him into the ruck.
Bob,
you're going to kill the fella.
Bob, did you see...
You'll kill Stoneham putting him in the ruck?
You'll kill him, yes, Ron.
Did you see the incident with Ken Hinkley yesterday where he was concussed?
Yes, it was right down in front of me. And obviously, that fellow of the family, he was behind the door when the ability was given out because his brother got it all. But you can see this little fellow here, number 18. Oh, there it is. That's funny, isn't it? Hinkley goes down. Where is the ball? And where is the umpire?
Well, the umpire...
That's what I would like to know. Well, where's the emergency umpire? Isn't he watching the game?
Oh, some people in football like Scotty and think that's good tactics.
No, Scotty wouldn't think that was good.
No, Scotty, no.
Not behind play, but the point is that has been going on for a long time. That has been going on for a long time. And there was a code amongst the footballers. You used to sort all that stuff out amongst yourselves.
Don, that doesn't mean it's right.
Does that make it right?
It doesn't make it right, and it doesn't make it wrong, but it's been going on for time immemorial.
That's why we're saying it's right.
We're trying to improve the game now, Don.
Let's take a break.
We're not a dinosaur. We're trying to...
Bernie, let's take a break.
Game, mate.
Athletes were taking drugs time in memoriam, and they're trying to cut them out too.
Still doing it.
Well, they're trying to cut them out. We'll take a break.
Before In Bed with Madonna, there was Elvis. That's the way it is. Behind the scenes with the world's consummate performer, the King, tonight.
Wheels magazine had this to say about the new Magna wagon. It's to meet the exacting world quality standards that the wagon is so well designed and so well built. It will challenge Japanese, American and European rivals on their terms and on their turf. Score 1 for Australia.
This year, in schools all around the country, 500,000 kids put on their thinking caps for the Australian Mathematics Competition for the Westpac Awards, the world's largest maths competition. It's not a matter of who comes first or last. It's about learning just that little bit more, so that we move one step closer to becoming the clever country.
Westpac is proud to sponsor the Australian Mathematics Competition.
It's great news. The Furniture Spot are now in Dandenong. And to celebrate, look at these spot-on opening bargains. These magnificent 3-piece lounge suites are just $699. Queen-size beds, just $299. 7-piece dinette settings, $399. 5-foot wall units, $299. And 4-piece bedroom suites, a crazy $299. It's on now at all 3 Furniture Spots. Fairfield, Melton and Dandenong.
The Furniture Spot.
Stephen Cummings' long-awaited new album, Unguided Tour, is out now.
Would you like a really super home? If your home looks like this, wouldn't it be a super idea to make it look like this? Super Home Improvements have been doing quality extensions throughout Melbourne for the past 16 years. They'll design and build your super extension. Phone for a consultant to call and give you a no-obligation fixed-price quote. Prices have never been more competitive.
Our volume pricing, combined with current low interest rates, means that the time to build an extension is now.
Super Home Improvements for quality workmanship. 458 1666.
Bernie Quinlan went to Western Australia to Perth on Friday night to the Wacker. West Coast have got a great record there. They've now won 8 out of their last 9. Fitzroy, unfortunately for them, have lost their last 6. It was a competitive match though, Bernie. You just wonder about West Coast. They keep winning, but they don't seem to be going as well as they were last year.
They're not doing things all that convincingly at the moment, Bruce, but they're getting there. It was a pretty hard-fought game on Friday night. Fitzroy really served it up to them. At the start of the second half, the first 10 minutes actually in that third quarter, Fitzroy dominated proceedings. As we just look at those votes, Paul Roos certainly wouldn't have done his Brownlow medal chances any harm. He was fantastic. He had about 5 opponents from the West Coast Eagles. He beat all of them. Chris Mainwaring on the wing, 2 votes for the West Coast Eagles. And I gave Jason Baldwin 1 vote. He was playing on Peter Matera, and he ended up with something like 25 possessions. He played a terrific game, Jason Baldwin.
Where did Roos play too?
Well, Roos started off playing on the half-back line, picked up Carl Langdon. After that, when the things got moving along smoothly, he played more on the ball, into the forward line. He ended up kicking 3 goals. He's taken 14 marks for the night. It was just a superb display.
So is he playing at centre-half-back, running deep?
Well, not really. Not really. Alistair Lynch started at centre-half-back. Peter Coven started at full-back. They just started Paul Roos on Langdon, and then he just ran everywhere after about the first quarter.
Now, Bernie, in last year's finals, you know, the huge talk that may have been just before the finals with the 2 youngsters coming up with McIntosh and Jakovic. How do you think they've progressed this year?
Well, I really fancy Jakovic as a footballer. He's a terrific footballer. He can play either centre-half-back, centre-half-forward or in the ruck. He can take a strong mark. His kicking did let him down on Friday night, kicking for goal. He had a couple of shots.
So he's going to go on, and how about the other one?
Definitely. McIntosh has got outstanding ability, I feel. I think both of them, probably last year, they went into the finals a little bit green and without that experience, but with that extra year under their belt, I think they'll be terrific finals players this year. Who's that?
McIntosh with that big bandage on him. What is that, Bernard, you know?
Well, he's had knee problems all year, Bob. Yeah. And I think it's just a precautionary measure. The good thing for the West Coast at the moment, they've got 2 players came through, Guy McKenna and Brett Hetty. They've had injury-interrupted seasons.
Class players.
They are really class players. They need them firing if they're going to have a chance in the finals. And they came through very well. That's a real bonus that they've got through without any further injuries.
What size crowd, and are Perth still in love with AFL football?
It was a sellout. It was a sellout on Friday night, Ron, and they absolutely love it Friday night. They get sellouts there every Friday night without a doubt.
They can escape without a real ruckman?
Yeah, that's a problem. Harding is adequate.
Well, Harding is hardly, you know, he's not one of the great players, you know, as a ruckman goes. He's small for a start.
He's 193. He's not over tall, is he? He's adequate, and he's not all that mobile.
Sumich should make a big difference.
He's not real mobile. Sumich is a bad
out
loss.
for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, Sumich is a bad loss, Peter. They think he may be playing for the Carlton game, the last West Coast Eagles game for the season. But if he doesn't come up, I think they'll probably have to play Langdon at full forward.
There's one other man we've forgotten who was the star 2 years ago, Chris Lewis.
Chris Lewis,
can't make the team.
He's to come back into that side. He's running around with Claremont at the moment, and he didn't do all that much last week. I saw that game, Bruce, so he needs to lift his form.
Well, a certain expert that I know who's from Western Australia said to me a year ago, I would sell Lewis. I won't name him.
Well, people say that about Lockett also, Ron.
Yeah,
don't they? Well, I've heard it said.
Oh, have you? Gee. Well, no, only because Lewis is a terrific player, but his work ethic on the ground isn't as good as the other Eagles.
Well, it's a big problem for Michael Malthouse. He got the best out of him 2 years ago in the finals when he started, and he's got to try and get it out of him now.
And yet Lewis, Bruce, is up amongst the 10 top tacklers in the competition.
Well, they're the progressive votes now. Trust us. You've heard that before, but there's been a few games of football since we've been away, and all the votes have gone in. That's the truth. Atkins 21, Darren Jarman 19, Jason Dunster 18. So 2 Hawthorn players challenging a Footscray player, and then a group on 15. Lowe gets a chance today. Carey gets a chance today. McDermott also gets a chance today to add to their total. OK, they're the progressive votes in the Footballer of the Year. Let's have a look at the marks of the week, and in just a moment, yes, they're going to be back together again. They were wrestling a moment ago. Ron and Bob in just a moment for the marks of the week.
The Mark of the Week and the Mark of the Year are proudly brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors.
All right. Oh, look at that lovely mark, Ron, by Jonathan Ross, was it?
Oh, now, Bobby, thank you for my turn.
Oh,
my turn
okay.
is with young Ashley McIntosh, the man we just spoke of.
These are last week's. These are not this week's. What we looked at, Ron.
This is a whole different thing here.
He's trying to muck us up, Ron. Bruce.
Yes,
Trying to trick us.
That's David Honeybun there.
Yes, and this is Martin Leslie. I think you'll find going to come in and mark this. Look, there it is, Martin Leslie. And here's a nice mark by Barry Stoneham.
Yes, Barry Stoneham's taken a terrific, very athletic player, as we all know, fantastic, and we chose, Bobby.
I'm actually confused now because I didn't see the mark that I chose.
No, we did choose a fellow called Tony Hall, whose mark was absolutely brilliant, and I'm sure it'll come up on the screen at any stage now. Just watch this. Beautiful use of the knees, legal, stressing the word, legal use of the knees, eyes on the ball, tremendous mark.
A great mark, player. Great skill without any wrestling.
Thank you, Bobby.
So Bob and Rod have made up, and Tony Hall, congratulations. In round 20, Darren Jarman took this spectacular mark and was voted the mark of the day. He took a beauty a week or two before this, with that one coming from nowhere against Hawthorn. So Jarman, for the second time, getting mark of the round. And in round 21, it was Rodney Jamieson from the Adelaide Crows. With this performance, Adelaide up against Richmond, and Jamieson over the top taking that. So they go in with a number of other players that have been involved in marks of the round so far. And Jamieson and Jarman joining Hall at the top of the list, and all the other players that have been involved. We take a break. Goals of the week coming up after this.
Hot and spicy. Is it a health hazard? Can changing your diet change your life?
And after a week, it was like I got another baby.
What we eat, the hidden danger. Food for thought. A 7 Nightly News special report, 6 o'clock Monday.
On the 8th of July, in the bush near Broome, Millicent and Graham suddenly needed their car insurance.
It hit my eye at 1,000 miles an hour. I was rushed to Sydney for the operation.
RACV Aussie Assist flew me to Sydney to be with him, and then drove the car and the caravan back to Melbourne for us, all free. It was terrible, but in a way it was wonderful. We felt safe in their hands.
Only RACV Comprehensive Car Insurance has Aussie Assist, and it's free. Switch your policy now.
Take me away, friendly fair star.
Oh, take me away to paradise. Take me away. Take me away. My ship blown away.
Take me away, piano.
This automatic transmission has problems. His driver thinks there's a big bill coming. But if they go to Fluid Drive, they're likely to find that what sounds like a big problem may only be a little one. After almost 30 years of satisfying customers, Fluid Drive know the difference and how to save you big dollars. Take your automatic transmission to the specialists. You can trust your transmission to Fluid Drive.
Elton John, The One. His new album recorded in Paris and London, featuring the new single Runaway Train with fellow superstar Eric Clapton. And his national hit, The One. Elton John, The One. The album in your store now.
Parisian drivers are not noted for their scrupulous adherence to the highway code or for their general consideration towards their fellow road users. Their attitude might at best be considered cavalier, at worst brutal, bordering on the sadistic.
To survive Paris, Peugeot built the 205 to win the Paris-Dakar Rally. Introducing another 205, the SI, fully equipped from $22,205.
Welcome back to the program. In just a moment, goals of the week. One man who kicked 815, I think, in 367 matches, and the other fella, not quite as many, in 302.
The goal of the week and the goal of the year are brought to you by BP. BP, on the move.
Kick the Bible here.
Well, the first player we're looking at, Lawrence Shackey for the Brisbane Bears. Oh, Lawrence. Well, they're not a bad goal, that, Peter, but you see players kick those. I'm talking to you, actually, Donna. Goals that you see every day of the week, aren't they? Those ones across the boot.
Now, this man's an important part of the West Coast side, a goal-kicking wingman, Peter Matera, and he can certainly roost it a long way.
And the new bloke in the Carlton side, Angelo Cristo. I'm not too sure whether he's a left footer or a right footer. He kicks the ball equally as well on either foot, but I saw him kick a torpedo about 75 metres out of the back line. That's a terrific goal on the left boot.
Here's a little goer, number 27 for Richmond, Stuart Maxfield. He gets a fortunate bounce here. Into the goal square it goes, and just goes to the left.
Lucky. And the last one we're looking at, Rod Owen from the Brisbane Bears. Well, just a little bit of luck there, getting the boot to the ball, a desperate lunge, and it fell over the goal line, Don, but there's a couple we
missed. We saw on the highlights, didn't we, Dunstall and McCormack. I thought they were terrific.
McCormack, he would have won it for
Dunstall on
sure.
the left foot, that was terrific. But we decided on a young fellow, and I suppose for his game yesterday, he's got to be rewarded, and he has been rewarded with the goal of the day, Angelo Cristo. This 50-metre line at Carlton is not 50 metres. It's got to be 45 metres, and he's let it go from 50.
I think it's 50 yards from memory, Don, but you're correct there. In round 20, James Morrissey, who's struggling a bit. He battled yesterday. That's why they called him the freak, though. He can kick goals like this. But he just didn't play well as well yesterday, but a terrific goal. Left foot against Essendon, and they kicked a couple that day, Hawthorn, didn't they? So Morrissey was the winner in round 20, and in round 21, another man who's prone to being a genius at times, Gary Ablett. Just a little one here from the man they call God.
Jeez,
that's a big kick, isn't it?
it?
Just bang through. So Ablett and Morrissey and Christou join some other players as winners of Goal of the Week, and they're just some of them in more recent weeks. So Christou going over well there with some great names.
Brucey, you should send your news team out, sports news team out, and measure it, because you commentators, we commentators, shouldn't be commenting on, say, a Gary Ablett kick using the 50 metres as a judgment.
I think the one at Carlton has been measured, and it's not 50 metres. Now, the goal kickers, 133 for Dunstall. He's probably wrapped it up, though. Lockett, he's had some good success against Adelaide in the past. 115 for the John Coleman. Kernahan having his best season yet, 80. Bobby, we're running out of time. The three tips.
St Kilda, Swans and Collingwood.
Ron?
Collingwood, Melbourne, St Kilda.
Don?
North Melbourne and St Kilda.
North Melbourne?
There's another game.
Yes, no, you got North Melbourne and St Kilda. Go.
He's the ruck coach at North Melbourne,
Yes.
so what can you expect?
Go on.
Collingwood, Melbourne and St Kilda.
Peter?
Collingwood, St Kilda, Melbourne.
Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Ron wanted me to bring him back something from Barcelona. I've brought him back some gel. We'll take a break. Back with more after this.
Soon on 7, in celebration of the footy finals, your chance to share in hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of fantastic prizes in a fabulous competition for all 7 Melbourne viewers. Win cars, TVs, VCR stereos and grand final tickets in Melbourne's Footy Challenge soon.
With SIO's Genuine House and Contents Insurance Package, there's definitely no age limit on contents. SIO's buying guide covers all you need to know. Call SIO for your free copy. SIO, insurance as it should be.
It's great news. The Furniture Spot are now in Dandenong, and to celebrate, look at these spot-on opening bargains. Bedside tables are being thrown out for just $19 each. Deluxe TV video cabinets are $39 each. Students and computer desks are crazy $109 each. Coffee tables just $39 each. And children's leather look chairs $39. It's on